Let's talk survival. You don't know the first thing about it. I don't care if you're the snake whisperer or the Russian guy down the street who wrestles bears. No one knows more about survival than me. I'm non-human. I'm a wild animal.
I have ears like a cat and eyes like a rodent.
Before the dawn of man, the creation of modern-day survival games, there was Survival Kids, a Game Boy Color game developed by Konami. It was the first survival game made for GBC and an early precursor for a large genre of addictive games. I absolutely love survival games, from The Long Dark to Subnautica to Grounded. There's just something so satisfying about the immersion of these games. They never hold your hand. They give you some room to breathe. The HUD doesn't flood your screen with more visuals than a kid's TikTok video, and at times I question whether I'm playing a survival game or Dark Souls with how much of an advantage the enemies have over you. These games are without a doubt a challenge at times, but that's what makes it rewarding. You're always encouraged to figure things out on your own, and as a result, this lets you create your own stories. So with this highly positive opinion on modern day survival games, what do I think about one of the earliest examples? Not bad. For the first Game Boy Color survival game, it's pretty solid. It functions just like you would expect. You play as a kid of your choice, exploring a linear island full of animals and resources. You have to manage your health, hunger, thirst, and energy. Along the way, you can craft different tools and weapons to improve your chances of survival. The game doesn't tell you what resources do or what items combine to make what, so you'll have to experiment. Sometimes you might make something utterly useless, and other times you might make something that could help you get off the island. While the game's primary objective is survival, there is an end goal to get off the island. You start off with nothing on a generic beach, but as you progress, the island opens up. There's different regions that have puzzles to solve and things to interact with. You find a shack that serves as your first shelter. You then find this monkey that starts off as an absolute shithead, stealing your knapsack, but all is good because you save him and he becomes your best friend. His default name is Bub. You go on to build a raft and fail miserably. Hey, at least you tried. Don't worry though, you're not a total failure. You managed to reach the second half of the island. This is where you find a new way of escape. A large ship is chained down, and you must gather 7 gemstones to release it. These are scattered across the entire island, and you must use the tools that you've crafted to obtain them. There's several endings that you can get based on your actions in the game. While you can get the expected ending of escaping on the ship, you can also be slapped in the face with a terrible one. It was a massive disappointment when I built the raft for the first time, ready to sail, only to find that my kid died at sea because I didn't pack enough food. One cooked meat was just not enough. How was I to know? That brings me to where I think this game could have improved. I feel like there could have been more context given to certain moments in the game. While I know I said that I love how survival games avoid holding your hand, this is a game that I feel really isn't clear on what you're supposed to do at times. It provides little or sometimes no clues at all. There's a point in which you have to place down a leaf in a precise spot to get a gemstone, but there's nothing that makes the spot stand out compared to the rest of the region. It isn't until you walk over and the character says something that you have a hint. The length of the days is also another issue that I found annoying. Days go by so fast that it feels more like an interruption than a challenge. While the execution is rough at times, it doesn't detract from the value of the game. Survival Kids has been acknowledged by many as one of the best Game Boy Color games. It feels very progressive for its time. Its open exploration and challenging mechanics makes this game truly a predecessor for the modern day survival games we see today. This was the first game to bring the survival experience to the Game Boy Color, and for that, I love it. I can't get enough of the genre as it is, so to have a game that lets me survive on the go is a dream come true. I don't need food, water, shelter, just a Game Boy Color and Survival Kids.